Welcome to another Workshop Wednesdays brought to you by schoolofbookkeeping.com, where it's casual conversations for serious workflows. You may notice that Carrie looks a little different today. So Carrie is actually not feeling well. She actually has a case of the COVID after 2.5 years of dodging that nasty virus. You finally did come down with it, so we wish her a speedy recovery. She's just not getting the energy, which is typically the thing with COVID. It just lays you out. So playing the part of Carrie today is Landon. Landon usually is in the background doing our sharing on Facebook groups and whatnot. And every once in a while you may see him inadvertently turn on his camera.
Hey, that's an accident. That's the Where's Landon game.
Right. Yeah, we were thinking of maybe doing a Where's Waldo, Where's Landon type of game here, but we'll consider that. But Landon, you want to give a little introduction, your background, your history of what you've been doing, up until this point.
Yeah, of course. Hi, I'm Landon. I work for Complete Business Group, and it is a pleasure to meet all of you guys. If you guys missed the 1099 episode that me and Dan put on, I was a part of that as well. And so up until now, I've been, like Dan said, managing the background of Workshop Wednesday. I do data conversions for Complete Business Group. I demo the product. I help the partners out in Facebook, and I do quick answers.
Yeah. So if you are an elite member of School of Bookkeeping, and you go into the quick answers, you could potentially get either one of us, and sometimes both.
Twofer.
Sometimes we'll do a tag team, so you get the best of both, right? All at once, right? So the collective hive mind of School of Bookkeeping quick answers is potentially available to you. Landon used to work at Intuit. Do you want to talk a little bit about your Intuit background?
Yeah. I worked for Intuit for 5 years. No, longer than that. It was like
7.
It was like 7, if I count the partner side in there. So with that, I worked on my way all the way up to supportability representative. That's the guy that you chat when you call into it. That's the guy 3 levels ahead of the guy you're speaking with.
All
That
right.
helps them.
So basically, you never you weren't on the phones, but you were helping people who were helping people on the phones.
Correct. I was helping people who were helping people on
Right.
the phones.
So there was
Yeah.
the people that those the first level, right, when they need help, they talk to their help desk, and when those that help desk needed help, that was you, right?
Correct. And I'll say
So
all be all for escalations and everything.
all right, so you were Mr. Multitasker. That's one of the things we love about you, Landon, is that you can do like 5 things at once, and do them well. So Landon's going to be helping me here, demonstrate, because we've been talking about the new QuickBooks Online, new QuickBooks Payments situation where, when you set up QuickBooks Online for the first time, Intuit has been aggressively marketing. I guess that's the nicest way to say it, QuickBooks Payments, where it just seems like it's a normal process in the setup 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 interview. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Is the interview as you're going through. It just seems like, okay, well, this is just a natural thing. So we wanted to demonstrate it, and we were actually walking through it right before we went, and some of the things that we've been saying in the past, where you have this half set up account that allows people to pay, but then kind of hijacks the funds type of thing, is actually not the case now. So either somebody's watching, or or they realized that that wasn't necessarily the right thing to do, and a change has been made. So we are going to actually walk through the process. Landon's going to share his screen, and we will go through just a live demonstration of what happens and how things can kind of get set up. So Landon started already by going to QuickBooks.com or something like that.
I
So I'm
used
gonna
the
put
link in the description.
okay in the description there. I'm gonna put a little QR code if you want to follow along at home. You can get to the same site. And you oh, this is the one that you actually do need to put in a credit card. Um, Right, it's but we don't want you to do that. There is a trial link. We'll find that and put that in there. But so when you set up the yeah, let me get that here. We'll put it in. I'll put it in the. Oops. Oh my goodness. I can't. Okay. The chat has got me logged out, which is I
Oh,
can't
here
get
I'll
in.
throw it in the chat.
Okay. Live on there we go. I put it in there. Okay. I had to put in my Google account to recognize it. Okay, so he just started a new subscription, and then this is what comes up first, which is what did they call it? Lane is like first time
Setup,
use.
yeah,
The
setup
setup.
interview.
All right. So it's got that little sidebar in the upper right, like how happy are you in this whole process? Did it what happened with that? I mean, like what is that slider bar? Like, does it go to a team that
It,
you know of?
yeah, it goes to the first time setup team, if I remember correctly, or unless they haven't changed it. And basically, this is going to be for the people that change how you first time set up an account, and
Right.
so they take this slider very
Very seriously.
yeah.
So right now, by flipping it up and down, is somebody at Intuit going, "What the heck is this guy doing?"
It
Or
won't
is it, it
until
is
you
it
submit it.
recognized when you go to the next phase, right?
Yeah, next phase.
Okay. Okay. So this first one is just what's the name of the business. So he's creating a workshop Wednesday. Then the next one is how have you been managing your finances? What have you been doing up until this point? Can you make your screen can you zoom in a little bit to make it a little bigger?
That
Yeah,
work?
awesome.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So how long have you been in business? It just again, these are normal regular questions that happen during the initial setup. Um, what kind of business is it? What do you sell? Those, or this is the entity type. So whether it's
Mm-hmm.
a S corp or partnership or what have you, and then now it's asking, what do you do? What kind of industry are you? And the what happens in the background is this is kind of setting up the default chart of accounts for that industry, right? And typically, one of the things that QuickBooks Online is pretty good at is because they have anonymized data of all of their companies, right? The people that are answering this question, and the features and settings that they typically will use, they can start to leverage that data. And if a I'm trying to think of an example. Can you think of one? Like if an accounting firm always has apply credits turned off, which is
Mm-hmm.
typically the case, automatically apply credits. That setting could ultimately be set up for you, as you're going through. So all of those additional
Correct.
settings and preferences may not need to be set up. So what did you just skip through there? That
Oh,
was the
that was the
what
apps
apps?
connect
Okay, so
apps.
additional apps because you set up the advanced as a
Correct.
as a as an option, which comes with some premier apps. I think they call it
Also,
app
spreadsheet
connections.
sync is
Yeah,
app connection too.
so like the Salesforce connection, the the other applications that are kind of if when you're using the top level tier or the feature set of QuickBooks Online Advanced, then it gives you a maybe a discount on those things like DocuSign, Lien Law. Those are the preferred apps to use when you're using QuickBooks Online Advanced in that particular industry. All right. So what did you select there?
Oh, send and track invoices.
Okay. So you said how do you what do you want to do in QuickBooks? And the only thing that you answered there is sending and tracking invoices, which is a normal question. All right,
Mm.
so here's where we start to get into setting up the payments account, right? So your choices here are set up payments, go back, or you have this little tiny thing over on the right side, skip for now, right? So um, if you click set up payments, go ahead and click on that. Then it's going to start the process of setting up your
Template.
invoice template. All right. And then, this is how it will look, and you can make some changes there if you want. All right. And then it's going to ask um, to set up. What is it saying to show you how it works? So we'll pay you $5, right? If they set up payments, right? So you can if you click set up payments now, then it's going to ask the questions about the business, about the primary principal, and where are you going to deposit the funds. So this is actually the process of setting up, completely setting up an account. Um, how do you back out of this? So there is a back button, right?
Or continue later.
Yeah, you got to continue later, and then at this point you can click on skip for now. So you know, as people are going through this, now they're in this state of like a half setup possibility, right? Where they haven't completed the payment process or the payment account, and they're not able to actually receive the funds because they haven't finished that process. Um, some other information about how you track receipts, and those types of things. And at any time, right, if you want to like abandon this first time setup interview, you can press the escape button, and it will just go back to the home page, and whoop, you're on your way, right? So it's kind of finishing the setup here. But again, ideally you would run through this first time use interview and set that up. So let's go ahead and go to look at an invoice, um, and see what that looks like right now. All right, so we're bringing up a new invoice. Okay, so at the top here, I don't know if you can zoom in a little bit more so we can actually see what that actually says. So you've got online payments as an option in the upper right, and you can see that they're checkable, right? So in the past, if you had not done anything with payments, these would not be checkable, right? To be able to allow credit card payments or bank transfer payments. But here, of course, that you can, right? Like, so we didn't finish anything with regards to setting up the payments, but now, okay, this gives you an option to set up a credit card payment uh, on your invoice, right? So we're again in that kind of like half setup, right? Because we're not completely setting up the payments account. We didn't acknowledge that, and this could happen with a similar situation of an office manager is logging in to QBO for the first time. Maybe they don't have all this information available, or the owner's not there. It's like, well, because it is going to ask for the primary principal social security number and those types of things, because there is risk involved with money movement and that sort of thing. So they do have to actually apply for a merchant account and finish setting that up. And in this case, they're not. Maybe they don't have that information to completely set up. Okay, so when you click on save and send here, so we just Landon created an invoice. He's sending it to you're sending it to yourself, right?
Yep.
And here it's got the review. You can see it's got the review and pay button, but again, he hasn't completely set up the payments account yet. So let's see where in this particular case, Now it's saying, okay, let's finish this because you opted in for QuickBooks payments, and this was new, right? Like this didn't happen before, as we were talking about this like a couple weeks ago. Um, he's just leaving the interview because again, Landon's playing the
I
role
just hit
of office
escape.
manager. Oh, okay. So you press escape to close out of that, and you have save and exit. Okay, so again, he still hasn't finished setting up the payments account. Let's take a look at the invoice that comes through on your email. Drum roll. And this is what we discovering today was new, right? So the email comes in, it's got the review and pay button. Somebody clicks it. Uh-oh, they can't pay it because Landon didn't finish setting up the account yet. So in the past, what we were talking about before is that people could actually pay this invoice, and now the money's caught halfway between the client and the business owner, because in order for Landon to receive this $800, he would actually need to tell QuickBooks, "Hey, where do I, finish those three things? Tell us about your business, tell about your business owner, and tell about your, deposit account." So this is a good safeguard, I think, from what we were talking about before, where the money is kind of hijacked or almost held hostage between the client and the business owner. So in order for them to even pay the invoice, even though they said, "Hey, we can accept credit cards," this will stop that process. You can go ahead and I think stop sharing your screen, Landon.
Okay.
Um, so this will stop the process of the money being hijacked in that case where it's in between the business and the client. Um, so it does allow, it does kind of force the issue of, hey, you can't accept a credit card until you complete setting up the account. The downside of all of this is that they're doing it within the product, and the fees are a little higher than if you had referred them as an accountant or bookkeeper. You can get pro advisor rates, and those types of things. So you want to have this conversation with your client or your customer uh, prior to that, so that you can maybe save them some money. That was a lot of information. Landon, you have any thoughts about what you did and experienced?
Yeah. So in my experience, this is creating basically just a shell that's just going to be blank in the back end. Like Dan, I want to tag on to what Dan said about the rates. One important thing that I saw in here, let me actually pull it up here and show you.
And while you're
Perfect. Let
doing
me
that, I'm going
reach.
to put a little QR code in the upper right. We have at School of Bookkeeping, we have a QuickBooks Payments course where we're going to add this workshop to it because it's changing constantly.
Wrong way.
um, yeah, so you can go to the landing page there. If you're just looking for to save your clients some money, too, you can have them apply on that right on that page for a pro advisor pricing merchant account, and we can tie that to their account. You can do it right there on that page too. So, what were you
I was just going
talking
to
about?
tag
Oh,
on your rates part.
yep,
This signs up for the default rates when you do go through this flow. So definitely make sure that you take advantage of complete business groups rates, because we do get you better rates. Even if you don't end up using the payments account, it's always good
mhm,
to sign up for it regardless, because then you are locked into having our
better
rate.
rates. Yeah.
So
So just by doing this referral type of thing, it can potentially save them, some money if they do decide to use it. If they don't decide to use it, they don't use it at all. Um, there's no cost, not to use it. And if they want,
Exactly.
they can choose, the monthly fee and get even lower rates, even on the Pro Advisor discount. So um, it's interesting to have this as an option. Um, Carrie loves QuickBooks Payments. I mean, we love it here too. As far as the ease and the integration when it comes to receiving money, and that's what I think Intuit is hoping, right, to show people that, hey, you can get paid a lot faster by sending an invoice. There's a button to pay it, and then once it's paid, it's especially in QuickBooks Online, the payment is made for you, the deposit is made for you, the fees are segregated out for you, the pot and it's now they reconcile it, so they can see when the bank deposit is made, and it can automatically be reconciled. So really, once your invoice has been sent and paid, it's pretty much everything else is automatic. So, any last final thoughts there, Landon, on what it is that we're demonstrating today?
Um, no, nothing on my part. Just remember that if your client does accidentally sign up for a payments account, it is reversible, and you can re-sign up if you want to take advantage.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that sooner rather than later, because the longer, especially if they've used it,
Yes,
they
that's a big one.
might be a little bit challenged to kind of backtrack that. Typically, they tell us, within the first 30 days, letting them know that, hey, you can get better rates on that.
There
So
is
go
actually
ahead.
interesting on the terms here for the $5 sample invoice.
Mhm.
This is what I was told when I chatted up with Intuit the other day. Basically, for accounts that are created as a shell, is they
Mhm.
have the 30 days here. So,
Ah,
and be approved.
right. So you got
So,
to finish it within that first 30 days to get the $5. But you can save a lot more than $5 if you have better rates through the Pro
felt like a
Advisor.
Geico commercial.
Yeah, that's right. 15 minutes, 30 days could save you $5. Um, so next week we're actually there is an FTC deadline that is looming for cybersecurity, and we're actually going to have Practice Protect joining us next week to kind of talk about that and unpack that and see where you as an accounting professional might lie in that, and do you need to do anything about that. So join us next week for a fun-filled cybersecurity discussion with Practice Protect, and we hope you have a great week. And thanks for joining us on the Workshop Wednesday.